this evening's live, I'd like to touch base on what I think are the most important areas of information that we need to be concerned with this evening. So we're down about 5% to about the 56.7 cent level. We've come up a little bit. We were down below 55 cents. But as we feared yesterday, coming below that 62.3 cents was the first warning sign. And then ultimately breaking below the 58.3 cent 2018 resistance ultimately allowed us to fall down in near 55 cent area. Now we've bounced back a little bit, just shy of 57 cents. And where we might think that we should continue down in the short term, there's a few key things we have to pay attention to. First is the fact that if we hit 61.9 cents, and this will continue to grow as the price goes down, there's 47.5 million in short positions that would get liquidated if the price hits just shy of 62 cents. So to me, that's a very key piece of information we have to have this evening. So definitely we want to know about that. We've got Ripple Q2 reports came out today, not too long ago. So Ripple Q2, whoops, Q2, what the hell? Apparently it doesn't want to hit the Q. What is going on here? I guess I can't hit Q. It's so weird. I guess I'll just type in Ripple report because the Q won't work for some reason. What's kind of, I don't understand that. So here's the Q2 reports as well that we'll take a look at. So we'll see how much time we have. And if we have time, we'll go through some of the reading and what it says for the market reports that was released by Ripple. And that came out about 6 hours ago. So we'll take a look at that. But the main thing we need to look at in the beginning here is the fact that XRP is down below a very pivotal support structure, which is at that 58.3 cents roughly. We'll look at it in real time. And that liquidation zone that happens to be just shy of 62 cents if we have a return rally, where shorts would be liquidated of a pretty significant amount. What was that number again, real quickly here? It's about 47.5 million if XRP at 61.9 cents would be liquidated out of the short traders. So it should be a very interesting ride here this evening. And into the weekend, now that we're on a thinly traded weekend, as we know, the stock market will be fully closed at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now we're in after hours trading. So without the ETFs and just the abundance of traders being around on the like during a normal trading week, the thinly traded weekend does allow for some volatile moves up and down. And with the drop we've had so far, we'll take a look at, do we need to go lower? Where would be an appropriate bounce spot? And how likely is it that the short traders will get liquidated here with us coming back up to 62 cents? Now the crazy thing is we could come up to 62 cents and get another rejection, but we'll have to see if that's even likely to play out here. So make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube does recommend this live. It's very, very important this evening that we get the information out here on this live and we stay focused, we stay emotionless, and we stay positivity over negativity in our mindsets. Another key point here is Bitcoin's down 3,250 points or 4.98% to just over 62,000. And we knew that we could run into some volatility when we realized that the U.S. government was selling off another over 2.3 billion Bitcoin with the whole Mt. Gox thing. And that's equivalent of about 12,000 additional Bitcoin that was sold off here. So now we've come into a position where, unfortunately, we find ourselves coming down here, or fortunately, depending on who you are. And then with Ethereum, just like with Bitcoin initially after the ETF came out, Bitcoin price plummeted. It's happening with Ethereum. Right now it's under 3,000, down 6.3%. So we'll take a look to see if there's any upcoming trades for Ethereum that we could pick up on, like we did from Ethereum at 3,100 and what was it, 118 all the way up to 3,300 and something was an opportunity until we got that rejection. So we'll take a look in depth on the charts because I think it's very important this evening. Some might be flustered. If you're an XRP holder, you may be thinking that Ripple's using the holders or retail as their own personal piggy bank. I understand that some might make that assertion, but this is nothing new, and we've had a standard operating procedure here that we've had since 2017. So until we get a resolution here from the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, we're going to have a very hard time breaking past this downtrending resistance. And we attempted to, for several days, to flip the 2018 resistance to support. But unfortunately, we're unable to. So we'll see exactly what's meant to be here. But we'll see, do we even have the chance to come liquidate those shorts at 61 cents? Or 60, just size 62 at 61.9 cents with the 47.5 million up for grabs? Or is the selling pressure too strong, and are we going to fall through some really, really key support that we have at 50 and 48 cents that would open up the door to a drop to 42 cents if those conditions were met? Now, we're not even close to saying that's going to happen, but we have to look at the possibility of what can happen to the downside and the upside. So please make sure to hit that like button. I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good evening, 6:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, August 2nd, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I really, really would. I know it's not the most ideal conditions for some. And if anybody was in here yesterday, we talked about the fact that we wanted to avoid at all costs a scenario where we would drop down, bounce back up. Now, it doesn't have to come all the way down there to fulfill that scenario, but we really didn't want to come down through here. We're at 55 and a push back up here. Even if we do, we have to avoid a rejection at 58.4 cents. Now, the problem here is even if we get past the 2018 resistance again, which we need to in a short order because we're starting to create this topping reversal pattern. We don't want to see this much longer, because if this continues any longer and we can't invalidate it, a lot of times what you start seeing, especially because we're seeing a real defined double top here, if it does play out how we have boom, boom. Now, if it does something like this, I mean, you could find yourself falling relatively quickly. We don't want this to play out as a bear flag, is what I'm trying to say. We need to do some kind of V-shape. If we want to be very bullish, this is what we need to do. We need to do a nice V-shape recovery, push ourselves back over that very key resistance level, and then be able to once again come up and retest to see if we're actually getting rejected here at 62. Well, we'll look at it in the more recent times here. Let's get rid of this. And then the more recent times, we're at about 62 cents. So, are we just going to fall right through? Or are we going to get a back test here to confirm this? I think it's very dangerous right now if you're a short trader on leverage with that liquidity that can happen on a spike. I almost think there's an advantageous moment here for the weekend. It's just we got to find the level that we need to go to. Are we going to fall through and come to 50 cent support before we try to have a reversal? Or is this where we start to come through? We tried to have a mini reversal, but still a little bearish on the onset on both sides of this. We've had the death cross in the 2 hourly. So, even the 1 hour doesn't really look great. We're not able to find any support here on the lower time frames. 45-minute we're still below. 30-minute we're still below the 20-day support as far as I know, unless it changed when I came on. It's rough right now. We got to find some change in buying pressure because there is some selling pressure here. And in order for us to reverse this, we already know we need to come past the 58.3 roughly. But ultimately, to confirm that signal, which we've been unsuccessful here a couple times up, we needed to break above this level. And right now, it's currently at about 62 cents and hold. And that should open up the door, or it would have opened up the door, which we already tapped that as well at 64.5 cents, which was the cup and handle resistance, the downtrending resistance on the handle. And unfortunately, that was used as a resistance. And now we're back below the rising channel at 60.7 cents as well. So yeah, it might just look like numbers on the screen, but these are a lot of converging patterns, and we certainly don't want to be on the bottom side of it. Because when you get to the bottom side of it, it opens up the door to maybe we do have to come back to the falling channel down here at like 33 cents. You know, or the handle support here that brings you all the way back down to 41.7 roughly, or 42.3 I should say. So like, we're trying to avoid the drop all the way back down. So if we're trying to avoid it, I have to try to find levels in between. And the farther we come, the less levels there are. You kind of come into no man's land. Still haven't invalidated the golden cross in the daily. It's not invalidated yet, so don't think it is. We've come down and we're retesting the 200-day in this golden cross, which is not uncommon. But I like when there's a lot of fear out there. Right now, there's a lot of fear. A lot of people opening up the shorts. You know, a lot of people thinking that it's just going to keep going down. We've come down to the 200-day support. We've got what looks like a reversal candle in the 4-hourly. Now, does that reversal get us up past the 58.3 cents resistance right now, which is the 2018 resistance, or the better than 6.5 year? Who knows? But it certainly looks like we could be pressing for a retest at 58.4, and if we get through there, then it could retest and liquidate those shorts. I'm just saying, would I be surprised if there was a quick liquidity strike on a candle that lasted like 10 or 15 minutes that just came up to liquidate those shorts? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yep, it sure was whales. The big move up was just hype from whales people. And thank you, whales, for being in Tom's Army for your 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate everybody who decided to come and tune in this evening. You'll notice on days like today, we will probably have less than we've had, you know, when the price was going up. But I think we have a very dedicated and loyal audience that can add a lot of value. I really do. Not VR Gypsy, welcome in. Mandaline, good evening. Got Hawk smashed on a couple of my longs this morning. Over, I leveraged with no stop loss. I didn't see it coming. I basically woke up and, oh shit, oh well, I learned something. That's right. At least you're sharing your experience and the darker sides of leverage trading. Because a lot of people see easy money. Most miss the fact that it's even easier to lose it than it is to make it. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Kryptonian, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor along with Kwame Martin. I appreciate that from both of you. Toppy, wow, welcome in. Michigan indeed. Lonzo, welcome in. XRP Ricky Ripple says, hi all, 30 cents inbound. Very possible. We'll see what happens with the support structures. But thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Let's see. Khan, welcome in. UK Phil, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6 months plus with the XRP Predictor. So now getting back on track here. So it does look like, you know, we've fallen a little bit bearish here. As we can see, we're below that 6.5 year downtrending resistance. And for anybody who's new, because I know there's got to be a few people that are new, if you go back here on this entirety of this pattern, that $3.31 is when we hit all-time highs. It just depends on exchange. That's why you might be seeing a different price than you're used to. And that was in January of 2018. That's resistance 1. Support 1, it took us 27 months to the swing high to the swing low at 10.8 cents, which occurred in March of 2020, support 1. Support 2, 18.2 cents, which was right around January of 21. Resistance 2 is at 19.8 cents. And that happened April of 21. We should all be familiar because we had an explosive rally when I first started on YouTube, March 28th of 21. Until that point, it was explosive. And I mean explosive. I just happened to start days before that epic 12-day rally that gained us almost 400% in 12 days. So it was a beautiful time to start the channel, I must say. So that was resistance 2. We have support 3 at 30.3 cents in January of 23 roughly. Then we come down to resistance 3, and this confirms the pattern in March of 24. That confirms the pattern 3. It's a resistance and support confirms your pattern. Now we come down to support 4, which also creates this big W reversal, in my opinion, and taps the 2020 uptrend, which is very important at 40.47 cents. Then we have a 4th resistance that we're dealing with right now in July of 2024, and we're trying to see in August of 24 if we can now vanquish this resistance for the first time in 6.5 years. If we don't, and we start bouncing back down, the next hit on support would be somewhere around 40.8 cents. And this pattern has to end by the end of December of this year. By good news or bad news. The technical target, if we don't invalidate this structure and we come back on top of here and use this as a bull flag setup, you should be able to come up near 80 cents still. That would be the technical breakup on what looks like a bull flag off of this big W reversal. And I don't know if everybody sees this, but I can't get it out of my head. Down, around the support, up, create down to the 200-day support. If it bounces off of here, I'm telling you, shorts are going to eat those shorts. They're going to eat their shorts in a big way. Oh, it definitely followed the Russell 2000. It did. I noticed that with the Russell. But, you know, most things did. I'm very happy when I told everybody yesterday and the day before about B2 Gold. Like, there's a lot of things that were transpiring, a lot of spinning wheels. I told everybody at 305 or 307 I was out for the retracement. Not because I didn't want to hold it, but because it looked like it was coming down and gold had to retrace. Now, might I eat my words on Monday if it's not at 286 and it's over 305? Oh, well, you better believe it. But as of right now, it looked like a great move. And I didn't want to buy it at the end of the day for one reason. I want it to prove to me now. I want it to prove to me that it's holding this over the weekend. And if it opens up at 289 or 290, I'll be very happy. It's a 15-cent per share savings. I could probably get an additional 90 to 100 shares without having to put in a couple $100 just by rinsing and repeating. But I can see a technical drop that could take place here if we get a rejection at the 289 mark, and it could come to 273. So I'm very aware of this in my own head. So doesn't that look pretty similar to a bull flag that would have an overzealous consolidation? And if it comes down there, then what? Then you could find yourself in a shit show where it boom, boom, comes down, then gets rejected here, and then plays out. You know, it could ba-boom, 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 out and down. And that's certainly not what anybody wants to see. I don't want to see that. You know, that's the situation we're trying to avoid here. So you got to pay attention at any given time because the pattern can change very quickly. So it's always in real time. And what got me nervous and the reason I was able to sell that $7,200 plus was because the Fed said that they weren't raising rates, or I mean lowering rates, and it's going to happen. I guarantee you they're going to lower it in September. As I said, they're not raising rates. I guarantee it. I said before they had the meeting. But the only difference is that I didn't think they were going to lower rates this month. I thought they were going to make it simmer with the audience, allow the news media to be like, oh, see, we're doing better. We really need to lower rates. We're going to release some press, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's perfect in September because you look at the election. They're going to lower rates. It's going to make things seem a little bit easier, you know, from a perspective. And then you're going to get the easing of interest rates, and gold's going to absolutely go bananas. And that's the thing. Like, this was a short-term, 1 day, maybe 2, where it'll be a quick in and out, rinse and repeat just to improve the position. But like I said, these are very risky, and I was very nervous when I sold. Even though everything looked right, I didn't know if it was going to happen. And fortunately for me, it's come down about 20 cents per share. So now I feel a lot better here on the weekend. Now with the war machine beating round and round, we know precious metals are going to go up. And will it hit 3,000 by the end of the year? It's as good a guess as anybody I've heard. But it's still, until it happens, you know, we have to pay attention because precious metals, including silver for the most part, is very manipulated. Well, both sectors. So I always like to bounce in and out of that. But now we've talked about some of the prices, everybody. We've talked about some of the prices. Rick, welcome in, and thank you for being a trusted mod. I greatly appreciate that. Syrian, welcome in, and I congratulate you for continuing in Tom's Army and no longer having the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, but you've got the month 2 badge of the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Thank you so much for re-upping in Tom's Army. I greatly appreciate that, and thank you for also being a trusted mod, love. I greatly appreciate that. X-Wing XRP5 says, ba-boom. Ba-boom indeed. So now we're going to see, is there any validity to that push up to 61 cents to liquidate the shorts? Out of what we've seen through the technical so far, do you think there's a shot that XRP can get to 61.9 cents here? Yes or no? And then we'll read this. Yes or no, do we think XRP can hit 61.9 cents to liquidate the shorts? Or are the shorts in a good spot right now? I would love to see. I would love to see. Or I would love to hear what everybody thinks as well. Honestly, I would. And while we're waiting, make sure you look in the video description below and or pinned comments if you're looking to trade XRP in this very pivotal moment. You're getting a hell of a benefit here because it's down from 63 to 56 plus, just a little over 56. Crypto's had a downturn, so make sure you get on the exchanges now and you sign up, you deposit, and you get yourself situated for your next opportunity to make a snipe. It's that simple. It's in the video description below and our pinned comments. There's BITUNIX, lowest leverage and spot trading fees in the USA. There's also HOTCOIN, and both of them are worldwide as well, but I only speak on the USA because I don't live around the world. But it's also available for worldwide users, and HOTCOIN has XRP, has a few extra ecosystems, but slightly more expensive to leverage trade depending on the ecosystem. It all depends on the ecosystem and the leverage pool. So the less liquidity in a certain pool, the more volatility you're going to get. So just remain cautious of that and aware if your leverage trading is. You've seen somebody typed in that they ate their shorts when they woke up this morning because they went, or that, well, you know, they were not too thrilled when they woke up. They didn't have a stop loss on, and it came down farther than they thought it was going to, and they were liquidated in the morning. So just, you know, you want to protect your capital, and hopefully this person had enough to where it was, you know, a learning experience, which it sounded like, but no harm, no foul. But, you know, you never know the situation. You never know the situation. Chill is welcome in. We catch 42 going long. My leverage is at 48. Fingers crossed, Chill is. And thank you for being in Tom Zone for your second month as well with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. We'll continue to watch for that. So 47.5 million in short positions at risk if XRP at 61.9 cents. Hello? Okay. So the highlights of the story. Despite the recent price drop, XRP has outperformed Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Technical analysis suggests that XRP could reach 65 cents in the coming days. Short sellers may lose 47 million if XRP turns bullish and hits the 61.9 cent level. So it's dead until the Russell 2000 breaks. Whale says, bye, bye, bye. Let's hit the likes, guys, and please help the stream. Yes, sir, Rick. Thank you so much for that. The likes help incredibly, incredibly. And I'm always looking for new members of Tom's Army. So if you appreciate what I do, consider joining Tom's Army. It's a new month. Or you can always send a YouTube super chat if you want to support the channel. Julie, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. I mean, the XRP Diamond Hand badge. What am I talking about? 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hand badge. Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you so much. My significant other. She's kind of forced to do it. I think I signed up for her. But she does do it out of her bank account. So, you know, all's well that ends well. So let's see. Kandu, welcome in. Free Toast, good evening. X-Wing says Yahoo indeed. Everyone is going to say no on 61. I want to see what that says. So in this bearish market sentiment, short traders or short sellers are highly active and are creating more short positions compared to long buyers. This is the third consecutive day of this week where the overall market continues to experience downside momentum. Amid this selling pressure, short sellers believe that Ripple's native token XRP won't reach the 619 level, 61.9 cents. According to an on-chain analytic firm, CoinGlass, heavy short positions at 61.9 cent level. While analyzing the data, it was observed that in the last 7 days, short sellers have bets of nearly 47.5 million at the 61.9 cent level. This massive position hints at the bearish mindset as they think XRP won't cross this level in coming days. At press time, XRP is trading near the 57.8 cents, a little bit lower now at 56.7 roughly, and has experienced a 4.5% downside momentum. Meanwhile, XRP trading volume remained stable during the same period, highlighting that participation from investors and traders remains the same despite the recent price drop. And this is the little trend line from shorts to long, so we can see what's going on here. It's kind of flipping here in the shorts' favor. What happened to the lawsuit? Nothing. Just like we expected. Absolutely, positively, diddly squat. They actually canceled the meeting again. Again, like it did before. There's no plan for XRP or crypto. You might want to reevaluate what you're saying there, my friend, Maroon. That couldn't be farther from the truth. It's actually a very thought out plan that we're going through right now. But everybody gets too caught up in things before 2028. They don't actually see what's in front of them. Sometimes you just need to get the old, slap in the face so that they can see what the hell is going on. XRP outperforms Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Apart from this, XRP has also outperformed top assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana in terms of price performance. Over the last 30 days, XRP has experienced a price surge of 21.5%, whereas Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana experienced a change of 4%, minus 4.5%, and 11% respectively. According to expert technical analysis, XRP looks bullish and may experience price jumps of over 10% and may hit the 65-cent level in coming days. Recently, XRP took support from a crucial level in the 200 exponential moving average EMA on the daily time frame and is now moving in an upward direction. Besides heavy short positions, an on-chain analytic firm, Sentiment, recently posted on X, previously Twitter, that XRP currently has its highest bullish sentiment in the past 14 months. In addition to this, Sentiment also noted that traders are very optimistic about top cryptocurrencies, including XRP, Ethereum, and Solana. So, I mean, I'm not sure what the hell they're reading, but I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I don't see bullish sentiment around the market. I see the opposite. I see very high levels, and I see the fear and greed index moving more towards fear now as well. It was heavily into greed not too long ago. Let's take a look, actually, at the fear and greed index now that we spoke about it, honestly. I think that'd be a good idea. And then if we have time, we'll get into Q2 2024 XP market reports. Is anybody interested about the Q2 market reports? I'm just curious. Right now we're at 57. We're in 57, so we're still in a little bit of greed. We're going back towards neutral, though. We're down to 57. Or actually, we're at 57. Yesterday was 52. Last week was up to 68. So we've come down from 68 last week to 57 in the fear and greed. So yeah, right now we're at 57. So we're down from 68 last week in the fear and greed index. So always good to know where that sits. You want to see if people are being more greedy or fearful. We like to buy when they're being more fearful. Now, we should see more of a drop with fear if we continue down. JW does want to see that. Does want to see that. Excellent. So that's interesting. So we may read through that if we get a chance here. So we know with XRP technicals where we sit on the precipice of an interesting spot, obviously. Being below that 58.4 cents is not great. But in the daily time frame, we have a bull flag kind of set up here, it looks like. We've consolidated down to the 200-day, but bounced off it very quickly at around 54.5. And now we've pulled back up, and we're pushing back towards that 58.4 cents, it looks like. Now, rejection there would not be good. And I'm not saying that we're going to get rejected there, but until we don't, the odds are we're going to get a rejection there. But if we come up, the only reason that I lowered the odds a little bit of a rejection there is the fact that there's $47.5 million in liquidation sitting on the shorts if XRP at 61.9. And like I said, I could see a quick candle spike happening, especially on a thinly traded weekend. It's just I'm not convinced right now where the end of this drop is. Did we already have it? And in the 2-hourly, maybe, but it still doesn't look great. We're not doing anything. Nothing to reverse this trend. That's still 2 bearish candles in a row. So I wouldn't get my hopes up just yet if you're going long as far as a leverage trade, because that's 2 gravestone dojis in a row. I don't make the rules. I just tell you what I'm seeing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, or I'm not going to lie to you or sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you the truth. So as far as the fear and greed, I still don't like it being at 57. The greed's still a little too high there as well. So it almost looks like it's trying to lock some people into buy right now, but to me it still looks bearish. All these candles aren't speaking bullish. Even the hourly looks like a reversal back down, but the 2-hour candles are what are leaving me with a little bit of doubt here. Those look like, does anybody think those look like gravestones? Or do you think those are inverted hammers? Because I always like to ask the audience when I say something so I can see how on base or off point, or on point or off base I am, I should say. Because to me, with the dot cross and everything, it doesn't exactly look that bullish in this exact moment. I mean, even at 56.4, we're underneath that. I mean, or right at it. Unless we get some pressure to come in, this doesn't look so bullish right now. And, I mean, we're not surprised. We've dropped like 13 to 15% in the last, what, 30 hours? So, hammer time, Tom. Interesting. And I appreciate seeing you in here. Sell now, buy later. Excellent. So, Bitcoin right now is down 3,588 points, or down 5.49%. And right now, we're at a key support level if we were on a broadening wedge. And for anybody who's thinking that we're on that, unless it was supposed to be way back here, and we're starting to use something like this, we're running out of options here. So we'll put it as low as we possibly can. But if we break through this, I'm telling you right now, if we break through this 61,300, ain't nothing. We're coming to 58.3K. I'm giving all the benefit of the doubt here before I call this pattern busted. So if it's either going to hold it here and have a massive recovery back up to 71, or we're going to come down to 58.3 cents, which is interesting because that's where we wrote out that if we wanted to try to make an inverse head and shoulders, that it would have to come back there at 58.3. I did not see ICP. I did not see ICP. So, I mean, if we come, man, this is just a big pattern. It came through, down. If it comes down like this and then roads up, we're going to say, well, how couldn't we have seen something like this developing before it developed? And we do see it. It's just, you've got to have testicular fortitude on these drops. Like, you've got to start drawing it out and start seeing something that nobody else is seeing. And that's why that 58,384 remains to be so damn intriguing to me. Because if there is something happening here, that very well could be what's happening. That it needs to come down there, and if it's retesting the neckline, trying to create this inverse arm, even though it came way fucking up there. And now we start looking at this, and what do we have? We're still well within the pennant flag. Well within the pennant flag. And this should already be like this, and I apologize for not having these labels where they should be. But we can see on the pennant flag support, and it would be easier to see if you could see what I'm talking about. But look at support 1 at May of 2020, or March of 24 at 58,915. Support 2 on this pennant, that I'm calling it a pennant, one could call it a falling channel, at 56,588, May of 24. Support 3, 54,000, as we can see. And that was just in July of 24. So now, if you come down farther, oh, this would be an interesting area, ladies and gentlemen. That's at 52.9. That is so interesting. It almost knocks your socks off when you see how this parallels with that uptrending rising channel. So it very well might come back down there to 52,925. It almost makes too much sense to come back down there. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, because that would invalidate that inverse head and shoulders, and a dump below 58,384 would have to happen to activate that. And we really don't want to see that, but it almost makes too much sense to come back down there. It almost makes too much damn sense. So then on resistance on Bitcoin, resistance 1, we had it over here around March of 24 at 73,462. We'll call this resistance 2 at 73,000. Oh, shit. Oh, now I'm going to have to move that back. That sucks. Not too hard, but I was trying to get through this as easy as possible. Let's just get rid of this. Let's just get rid of that right now, just to get it out of the way. Then we had this resistance here. We had two taps, 71,634 ultimately. And the last one we had here was actually the devastating one, because getting this minor tap here at 70,312 was not good. Now, if it ends up being some kind of flag that's forming, if it ends up being an inverse head and shoulders, great. But if we fall below 61,306 roughly, 58,384, and then down to 52,952. And we are in a falling channel, or a pennant flag within a rising channel that, honestly, the one thing that everybody needs to pay attention to, we're still on the cup and handle. So as long as we don't lose that 52,925, we are so bullish, my head wants to blow off my neck. My head wants to jump right off my shoulders how bullish we are until we're not. If that's the handle, I'm telling you, when it's ready to break, it's going to be huge. It's going to be fucking huge. We don't get a lot of acknowledgement with it, and with all of my numbers here, it looks fucking ridiculous. But it starts to make sense when you start to lower the time frames. But that's everything we need to know here. Everything we need to know here. So for anybody who stuck it out, which I didn't expect a lot of people do, down to 68 people, because you know what? Honestly, for most people, why the hell watch? Why watch when the prices go down and present opportunity? Why watch when you get the biggest amount of information for your next buy? I mean, I understand, just come in when everything's up 35% or 15% in a day, get a couple hundred people watching, but they've already missed the opportunity. I would rather there be 50 people on those days and a couple hundred people here today, because the opportunity's still in front of you. You understand? The opportunity is in front of you still. We're able to map it out right now. We're able to see where that next opportunity lines up. It's such a damn shame how many people just give up. You got to stay positive. You got to stay with it. You got to stay in the same mindset each and every day. You don't give up. Don't give up. Ethereum's down 6.87%, or down 219 points to 2,982. I mean, when we telegraph in the community, we telegraph. Bought it off here, rode it all the way up to 3,395 area within a couple buy and sells. And now we've watched it come all the way down. It failed to hold 3,079. And if anybody remembers, I did not buy it there because I didn't feel like it had the strength. But that doesn't mean that that is the end-all be-all level. Maybe this is where the inverse head and shoulders plays out. Maybe this is where a bigger W plays out. We don't know. But what we do know now is that Ethereum's becoming oversold. So the more it drops, the better opportunity it becomes. So for me, I'm looking at that for, still, we've got the ETF. And we know, just like with Bitcoin, we had a massive drop in the beginning. And this is what we were benefiting from. This is what we were planning on. This is what we were designating. So now that things are starting to play out, most people disappear. But I'm going to tell you right now what's happening. And until it's not, this is a very sexy cup and handle, just like Bitcoin. Unless these break down. Same with XRP, which is still very much within its zone. Unless these cup and handles break down, we are going to very high levels soon. If they break down, it invalidates, and so on and so forth we go. And we continue the consolidation phase in this bear market rally. Bitcoin was in a bull market, obviously. But altcoins, for the most part, never even came close to tapping anywhere near all-time highs, let alone 21 lows even during the run. So I'm just watching this from a non-emotional standpoint and understanding the fact that Ethereum very well might be building that third hit. I'm telling you, if this plays out appropriately, we're going to go fucking berserk. It's going to be just like Bitcoin Part 2. Bitcoin had the exact same... I'm not joking. Bitcoin had the exact same drop. And then it went bonkers with the ETF. I mean, look at this. Does that... I know it looks bearish on the onset, but if you start mapping it out, does it look all that bearish? And we don't need these targets anymore. Does that look all that bearish, or does that look like a handle on the cut form? Out of curiosity, how far did ICP go down today? Because somebody was telling everybody to buy it about a week or two ago. I'm just curious how far it went down. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago, but I was afraid when we looked at the chart. I'm just curious how far it went down. So right now we're looking at an uptrending support on Ethereum at 2,886. $2,908. It's at 8. Oh. Is it? There's no fucking way. Okay, well, you're telling me, so there is a way. Holy fuck, it is down there. Wow. I remember when we were talking about this earlier in the year when somebody had brought it up, and we seen it create that massive rally. It started to go up. You weren't joking when you said it's way down. I was thinking it was still a lot higher than where it's at now. Somebody came in here, I think it was middle or end of June. It was at like $13, $14 when we looked at it. Man, you could have got cut in half. But that's not just ICP. That's the whole market. So I don't think it's just designated ICP. But that's a big head and shoulders. That's coming down right now. So I know that's a lot of information to take in. And I tried to give you some Ethereum information as well because I think it's important. I really, really do. All of this is. I want everybody to have an opportunity to make money. And when the prices drop, I smell opportunity. So, how long have we done technicals? 41 minutes so far. So let's read into an opening here, and then we'll figure out what's going on from here. So Q2 2024 XRP market reports was released today, about 6.5, 7 hours ago now in real time by Ripple. So Ripple publishes the quarterly XRP markets report to voluntarily provide transparency and regular updates on the company's views on the state of crypto markets. Let's see. Company's views on the state of crypto markets, relevant XRP ledger and XRP related announcements, and market developments over the previous quarter. As an XRP holder, Ripple believes in proactive communication and transparency, and urges others in the industry to build trust, foster open communication, and raise the bar industry-wide. In Q2 2024, institutional adoption continued to be front and center with the announcement that Ethereum spot ETFs were greenlit for listing. In the U.S., many hailed it as a step in the right direction toward a more diverse and mature market. Following the success of Bitcoin spot ETFs, industry analysts predicted that this adoption may pave the way for ETFs such as Solana, which made early advancements in an attempt to be the next spot ETF. Later in the quarter, macroeconomic signals like inflation, interest rate expectations, and unemployment rates seemed to influence buyer and seller sentiment. Bitcoin's correlation to the S&P 500 climbed to 0.4 over the period after being at 0.2 during Q4 23 and Q1 24. The crypto market also exhibited a flight to quality tendency as the industry saw smaller cap tokens experience drawdowns up to 70%, while top 10 market cap tokens fared better. The overall crypto market experienced volatility after a continued rally that began in Q3 2023. Average daily trading volume for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP fell 20% from Q1, and Bitcoin price briefly declined below 60K. Some reported that several factors may have influenced this, including the Bitcoin halving in April, pressure from distributions of Bitcoin related to the decade-long Mt. Gox legal battle, greater than $9 billion, and the German government being required to sell $2.5 billion of Bitcoin. July 13th marked the one-year anniversary of Ripple's landmark win against the SEC. This was a monumental moment for the industry, resulting in regulatory clarity for XRP, which remains one of only 2 digital assets that has been deemed not a security in the U.S. Ripple still awaits word from the court on the final price of this case, or piece of this case. A decision on remedies related to institutional sales before December 2020. However, the central ruling that XRP isn't a security won't change. Ripple remains confident that the judge will approach this phase fairly. Back in 2018, Ripple was first sued in a class action lawsuit in California. In June, the California court dismissed all the class claims based on both the federal and state law. There is one state law claim that the plaintiff has brought as an individual rather than as a class claim. That was not dismissed, but the individual claim is not material. The 2024 U.S. election will be the most consequential in crypto's history to date. Will impact the future of crypto in the U.S. Notably, Ripple donated $25 million to Fairshake, a federal super PAC, committed to supporting pro-crypto, pro-innovative political candidates, bringing the company's total contribution to $50 million. This is an industry-wide bipartisan effort to assure there is a strong future with regulatory clarity for crypto in the U.S. The SEC's repeated attempts to smother the crypto industry through enforcement actions has benefited other key global markets that have embraced responsible innovation and economic growth. So as you can see, there's a lot to go through here. So there's a lot to go through. I want to go through, don't care about the lawsuit. Don't care about U.S. or global regulatory developments. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, actually, you know what? We don't care about the industry. So globally, regulators took steps in a bid to become global crypto hubs in Asia. Hong Kong's financial authorities released consultation conclusions on a licensing regime for stablecoin issuers. Shortly thereafter, the HKMA announced the first participants in its stablecoin issuer sandbox, including Standard Chartered Bank and Web3 VC firm Animica Brands. In Latin America, the Central Bank of Brazil announced its phased approach to unveil a regulatory framework to provide clarity for token creators and virtual asset service providers, VASPs, by the end of the year. Ripple and other industry leaders shared their perspective on crypto regulation and how to implement a comprehensive regulatory scheme for VASP with the central bank. In the Middle East, the Central Bank of the UAE issued the Payment Token Service Regulation, which aims to regulate services related to stablecoin issuance, conversion, custody, and transfer. This is expected to provide clarity on the operational framework for digital assets in the UAE when it comes into force next year. And last, across Europe, the flagship markets and crypto assets regulation, MiCA, came into force for stablecoins on June 30th, with Circle becoming the first global stablecoin issuer to fully comply with the MiCA regulatory framework by obtaining an EMI license from the Bank of France's Prudential Supervision and Resolution Authority. MiCA rules for other crypto assets will be implemented in December of 24. So now on these charts, so during the first half of the second quarter, XRP exhibited elevated volatility as price reached lows of 43 cents and highs above 62 cents. Realized volatility remained above 90% for the most part, or for most of this period. As the quarter progressed, XRP entered a more stable range, trading around 50-cent level, while realized volatility decreased by more than half, settling around 45%, as you can see on the chart. Table 1, major tokens, price and volume, end of Q2 24 figures. USD prices and average trading volume reflects daily trading activity for the USD and stablecoin pairs on top tier exchanges as measured by CC data. So you can see XRP's third on the list with 7-day 333, 30-day 407, yada yada yada, all the way up to 643 million over 365. And that's just trading volume reflecting. So you see Bitcoin and Ethereum surpassed it, which is normal. The XRP spot exchange volume, traded volume remained elevated throughout the first half of the quarter. Binance continued to account for a significant portion of the volume, while contributions from other exchanges varied, particularly Bybit and Upbit. The latter half of Q2 maintained consistently high traded volumes across the major exchanges. And there you can see the XRP spot exchange volume. And you can see we've taken quite the dip in July now. Chart 3, XRP spot exchange volume percentage. Similar to the first quarter of the year, XRP volume distribution across exchanges. Let's see how many people decided to say, naughty, naughty, naughty. So many people always leave when we go to the real nuts and bolts of things. Unbelievable. I appreciate everybody who stayed, though. I really, really do. XRP volume distribution across exchange. Don't you want to know what you're buying? Don't you want to know what's going on? Like, it doesn't surprise me, though. Remained fairly constant throughout the second quarter of the year. Binance, Bybit, and Upbit were responsible for well over 65% of the total trading volume. We're going to have to look more into Bybit because I've noticed XRP volume is going way, way up. Might have to look into that exchange a little deeper with that volume. XRP spot exchange volume, Q2 24 percentages, and you can see where we're at right now. Chart 4, and you can see they have Binance, Bybit, Upbit, and then they got bullish, Coinbase, OKEX, BitGet, Bitstamp, and others. So spot traded volume, fiat pairs versus stablecoin pairs Q2 24. So you see it's coming down a lot. Fiat versus stablecoin, it looks like. Or stablecoins, it's coming down a little bit. They still command a lot more than fiat, but there's not as much money as a whole if you look. So XRPL EVM sidechain enhancing interoperability with Axelar Bridge. Last quarter, Ripple announced that the XRPL EVM sidechain will use Axelar as the exclusive bridge to source the native gas token of the sidechain EXP. From the XRPL partnering with Axelar leverages their proven expertise in related sidechain benefits while providing a secure and efficient bridge for users. Axelar can also be used to bridge other fungible tokens to and from XRPL mainnet, as well as from more than 55 blockchains in the Axelar network. Oracles on XRPL will provide institutions with access to reliable and accurate data, feeds enhancing the functionality of smart contracts and DeFi applications. Oracles will enable a wide range of use cases from price feeds to event data, making them an essential tool for institutional DeFi. Band Protocol and DIA are Oracle providers for both XRPL's mainnet and its EVM sidechain. So that's interesting stuff there. Let's see what else we can go through. So the integrations. Q2 saw the announcement that ArcX, a digital asset exchange broker and custodian regulated by the UK FCA, is expected to bring hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized RWAs, which is real-world assets, onto the XRP ledger over the coming year. Ripple announced a fund dedicated to provide support in Japan and Korea for a range of initiatives to foster innovation on the XRP ledger. These initiatives include developer grants, startup investments, cooperative partnerships, and community growth. Japan and Korea are home to some of the most vibrant and rapidly growing XRPL communities globally, underpinned by strong institutional partnerships, progressive and proactive regulatory frameworks, and a growing number of innovative startups in the blockchain industry. So we're almost to the end here. We might as well just finish this off, and then I may just call it a day. I'll probably just call it a day after this. And we will try again tomorrow to do better. Ripple announced its plan to launch stablecoin later this year. Ripple USD by 100% will be 100% backed by US dollar deposits, short-term US government treasuries, and other cash equivalents. I'm just sad to see only 68 people that actually care about the real information. It's sad. These reserve assets will be audited by a third-party accounting firm, and Ripple will publish monthly attestations. While XRP is the native token on the XRP ledger, the XRPL was built to support any type of asset issued to trade on the DEX and quickly settle anywhere in the world with low transaction costs. Bringing credible assets on the DEX, such as Ripple USD, will drive numerous benefits for users, developers, and apps. The stablecoin will be available on the XRP ledger and Ethereum blockchains, with plans to expand it to additional blockchains and decentralized finance protocols and apps over time. Activity across most major protocols decreased in Q2. XRPL was no exception, with on-chain activity lower in Q2 as compared to Q1. Transactions for the XRP ledger, 251,397,881 in Q1 of 24, down 65.6% to 86,388 or 86,388,029 in Q2 24. In Q1, and this is all 24, remember, Q1 XRP burn for transaction fees 636,183. Q2 495,770, down to 22.1%. Average cost per transaction was 0.00147 in Q1, up to 0.0394 in Q2. So it costs 168% more per transaction in XRP in Q2, which is interesting. How you doing, Marvin? Let's see. Average XRP closing price in Q1 was 56 cents. Average closing price in Q2, 52 cents, down 7.1%. Average cost per transaction in USD, 0.00856 to 0.02064, up 141%. Volume on DEX in USD, 64,857,084 in Q1. 37,126,655, down 42.8% in Q2. Trust line, 7,376,402, down just about 0.6% to 7,325,547. Pump Master Flash says, got you on my TV and text on my phone. Excellent. That is excellent. Got me on the big screen. I'm famous. Look at me now, Mom. Number of new wallets, 185,809 in Q1, 100,746 in Q2, down 45.8%. We talked heavily about the down in new wallets. And then just let's close it. Don't you like to know all the information? I do. I really, really do. So Ripple XRP's holdings. And now no one's going to know. No one's going to know how much Ripple holds. Why the hell should we? Why do we care, right? Why do we care how much Ripple holds in totality? You know, this is the information everybody should need to know if you want to hold XRP. If you're considering holding XRP, you should want to know what Ripple's doing behind the scenes. So Ripple reports information about its XRP holdings at the beginning of the quarter and last day of the quarter. Its holdings fall into two categories: XRP that it currently has available in its wallets, and XRP that it subjects to on-ledger escrow lockups that will be released each month over the next 42 months. For this latter category, Ripple does not have access to that XRP until the escrow releases it to Ripple on a monthly basis. The vast majority of XRP release is put back into the escrow each month. So March 31st, 2024, total XRP held by Ripple, 4,836,166. Yes. Oh. 4,836,166,156 XRP was held by Ripple. Total XRP subject to on-ledger escrow, 40.1 billion. And then as of June 30th, 2024, total XRP held by Ripple, 682,112,997. Total XRP subject to on-ledger escrow, 39,500,000,000. So you can see a slight dip with the holdings by Ripple themselves, and the escrow went down as usual. So that's good information to have. So that'll do it with this live. Make sure to hit that like button. And if you do appreciate my work, hit that subscribe button and share this content. I appreciate all of you, and we will try to do better tomorrow.